This has become somewhat of a yearly tradition. Every January, I launch my drone in Riviera Beach, Florida to take a look at the manatees gathered by the power plant. These massive sea cows, as they are sometimes called, migrate here from northern Florida and Georgia during winter, and the warm water that comes from cooling the power plant's huge turbines keep the surrounding water at a very comfortable temperature. But before we see the manatees in 2024, let's go back to see what I've witnessed in prior years. This is what it looked like in January of 2020. Here we can count almost 50 manatees swimming in the vicinity of the power plant. In 2021, we can count about 25 manatees here. But to be fair, unlike other years when I would go out early in the morning when it's at its coldest, on this day I went out in the afternoon when many of the manatees were out looking for food. In 2022, I did not film the manatees until early February, and although I did see some low numbers, it wasn't a cause for concern because these animals move around a lot and I wasn't sure of their schedule. However, I did notice that there were several small groups scattered along the intracoastal. There were even 3 of them hanging out at the spot from which I launched my drone. In 2023, I got the shock of my life. Even though I went out on an early January morning, I could count less than 5 manatees in the vicinity of the power plant. This prompted me to do a video on my YouTube channel entitled, "Where Did the Manatees Go?" The link is in the description below so you can check that video out to see the brief explanation of the threats to manatees that live in the Florida waters. But apart from a few sharks hanging out near the power plant, the area was basically dead as far as marine life activity was concerned. So here we are in January of 2024, and what would my drone capture this time? Here we can see a nice little group of around 30 manatees huddled together, not to mention the other little groups hanging out at different spots along the intracoastal. So apparently the fears I had last year were not justified. Why do I say that? Take a closer look at this video. Notice the schools of fish swimming around? Now let's go back to last year when there were almost no manatees around. Notice that the schools of fish are also missing? So for some reason unknown to us, there are certain years when the month of January does not have an abundance of manatees or fish hanging around in this spot. This makes total sense given that marine life tends to move around a lot, and wherever the food is in abundance, that's where they're going to be. Does this mean that we can now relax because the manatees are safe? Not necessarily. If you take a closer look, you can see that some of these manatees have huge scars in their bodies, which is typically a result of a boat strike. So if you happen to boat in Florida, be mindful of when manatees are around and the need to travel slowly when boating along the intracoastal, near to shore, or along canals. Hopefully I'll be back next year to film the manatees in Riviera Beach. But right now, the evidence is clear that this tiny ecosystem is teeming with life. So until next time, safe travels everyone.